I forgot to put on there about trash.
So it's 4 o'clock, we'll, start this meeting, utility meeting. Just turn it over to Mr. Frank, he's got the agenda.
Yeah, so, the big thing is we have a list of water lines for the phase 2 water. And, what I can do is run through the whole list and then give you what, Mr. Betts and myself, actually it was a combination of the entire utilities department. We came up with this whole master list and then, give you our recommendation going forward, what we want to do first. For a water line replacement. Come on. Very excited I did this Tuesday night while we were sitting here. You guys might remember that.
I read through it, yeah.
All right,
I did.
I just want to read it out loud for everybody at home. Bits. Here we go. So this, like I said, this list was put together by all the utilities guys, and it's our next wish list, if you will. And that is a new 8-inch, and this is water only. This doesn't include our sewer or storm drain. So this is it, and changing out the water line going up Fort Street, and that would be changing it out to and increasing the size to an 8-inch, and that would be from Washington Street all the way up to the old prison where it intersects Wood Lane. Actually, there is no intersection at Wood Lane. And then what we would do is go from Fort Street down Wood Lane all the way clear down to where it intersects. That's not Baroque, that's what is it, Sylvania right there? Sylvania. That is a huge improvement. What that'll do is loop Bookdale. Currently, right now, if we have a leak in the east end of town, it drastically reduces the pressure for all of Bookdale, if not kills their water service altogether.
So, quick question then. So then if we put in that line, and I know where their meter is, in Bookville there on off of Sylvania and real close to Wood Lane. So how does that work then? Is that just, that comes in to obviously like a Y junction of some sort or T junction there? And then will it have flow on it, pressure all the time, or we just turn that pressure on when we have to shut off pressure on the other side?
Well, that meter doesn't have a need anymore now that we have all the water.
So we still use that pit maybe as like a junction box kind of thing for the
Yes, it's still there.
Okay.
We just use it as a valve.
Valve. Okay. So then do we have a valve on that, and then is there constant flow from Wood Lane, or would it just be turned on when we need to turn it off?
No, it'll always be on.
Okay.
So it'll always be on, just like the other one will always be on. And depending where the leak is, we can isolate it. So for example, if there is a leak, say on High Street, right? Because the High Street is actually on here, and that's one of the ones that kills Bookville every time. We're going to put a valve at the bottom of Mason City Hill, or even at the top of Mason City. Somewhere around there, there'll be a valve put in if there isn't one already. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I know we put a new one at the bottom, but in conjunction with High Street, I'm not sure where it's at. But if there's not one there already, we could put one in and isolate it. That way, basically, everything from that valve will be fed from the 8-inch, the new 8-inch we put in. So even the folks up at Star Village would still have plenty of water, which would be fed clear from Fort Street all the way back in, go this way. And then that way all of our folks are, on the east end as well. It's just going to provide much better pressure and everything else, which is another problem that the school has. When we're talking to the superintendent, this is going to help us quite a bit too for our package. And that is their fire suppression problems that they have over there.
Okay.
Because they have a pressure volume problem.
Okay.
So this solves the fire suppression, so it's a life safety issue for the school. And this will also, the quality of life for the Bookville residents will drastically improve because their service reliability. We actually, the guys are actually on their way over right now, literally in these conditions, because we have a break on the main line going into Bookville. So I don't know if they're going to lose service right now, but there's a chance that they'll lose service right now. It just depends if the guys can get it stopped without shutting the water off.
Okay. And quick question. So when we shut that valve off there for like say High Street break, everyone in Bookville has to have a boiler too then.
Currently, yes.
So if we have that constant flow and then we just shut off High Street there, then it doesn't impact Bookville.
Zero impact to Bookville.
Perfect. Okay, that's good.
Yes.
And so that would take, and you're saying that would go from basically the top of Pleasant View and Wood Lane there, that intersection basically, and running the whole length of the road into Sylvania. Okay.
Correct, because there's currently a line now, and I believe it's a 6-inch line that goes from Sylvania up to just slightly past the last house, coming from the Sylvania side, because there's a fire hydrant there,
Right.
and it dead ends at that hydrant. But it's only a 6-inch, so this would put an 8-inch, and it's an 8-inch loop, so it'd take that 6-inch out as well. So it's a heavy duty loop that would go all the way around there. So
That's awesome.
much needed improvement for everybody. And then the other benefit to that too is all of these streets, at least in the ones I'm proposing to you, or the ones I'm proposing to you, which the Fort Street and the Wood Lane doesn't have a line, but the Fort Street does have lead joints in the water line. So that will eliminate that problem as well. The next one, come on, man. The next one on the list is also going to be in the proposals, the Contner and Short Street. We did not do those this year because of the problems and the struggles that we were having on Mill Street. If you all remember, it's still not solved. So we're going to put that on the agenda for this year's monies. And those do have the lead joints as well. And just for a little background, that'll take care of Short and Contner. That'll be everything replaced on those. And as far as Fort Street goes, that will be everything replaced. We do have a known sewer, or it's not an issue, but we do want to upgrade some sewer sections, coming down from the old prison, specifically in the Scott Street area. For whatever reason, it drops to a 6-inch through there, and we have some known issues of things going through the line there. So we're going to try and get some sewer monies as well to replace some sections of the sewer, but that's a different project. And then ideally, long-term recap all of Fort Street. So, yes, sir.
We're not making a payment at it.
For the water.
No, for a traffic violation.
Oh, over at the police station, you just go straight across the hallway and
You told me to come over here,
who did?
police officer.
Clerk's not in, and I don't think there's anybody in the water office.
There was no
Go
one
ahead,
here.
continue on.
You bet.
I'll handle this.
All right, so I got derailed. So let me go back down through the list. I'm just going to go through the list that all put together, and my bad. So the total list includes Burr Oak, Wood Lane, Fort Street, Contner Street, Short Street, Frederick Street, John Street. Those are constant problems. West Franklin Street, the whole length of West Franklin Street. Washington Street, the whole length.
That's sewer.
These are all water projects.
All
I'm going to say this, don't throw anything at me. Jefferson Street, it would probably be last. ME Street, Poplar Street, all of Poplar. Burr Oak from Canal to High. But the Burr Oak one from Canal to High, actually, I'm probably going to reprioritize that one and get it done sooner because that's going to be paved as part of our project. That just now popped in my head.
Okay.
We might need to try and find some money to do that sooner than later. High Street, Harper and Ashton, Church Street, and then aerators, miscellaneous valves, and hydrants. So,
Okay, so this is the wish list then of all these, but I thought in Mr. Betts' email was about 5 million that we could actually.
Correct. I was just giving you the overall list of, and now I'm gonna share with you the ones that we want to do, which equal 5 million. So the first two is just the Wood Lane and Port Street. And then Cotner and Short, that's on the wish list. And then Frederick and John Street. And then down at the very bottom was the aerators, miscellaneous valves and hydrants, which is 2.6 million. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna try and pull 200,000 out of that and get the Borough to Canal added into that as well.
Okay.
A large piece of that is aerators for the two reservoirs that we have, which is a mechanical fix. It will help with our TTHM issue.
Okay.
Jeff's doing a really good job with the chemicals now, reducing that problem. This is just another mechanical piece to that to help even more. Jeff gets it right almost all the time, but yet we're still seeing the occasional spike. So he doesn't like it though, put aerators in there, but to me, it's just another safety net and then gives him a little bit of wiggle room on his side as well. So, and then I love fire hydrants and valves. I don't think we can have too many new ones of those. So, but I do want to pull out of that 2.6, 200K out of that to put the 200K in from Borough to Canal Street, or I'm sorry, on Borough from Canal to High,
Yep. So,
and replace that section there, and for a total of 500,000. Now, what that 500,000 looks like is, if we get approved, it's very likely half of that would be grant, and then the other half would be 0% loan, and that would be a 30-year loan,
and it was like 75,000.
75,000 a year.
Would be the payment.
And he's pushed that data over to Taylor. Taylor looks like, for now, it looks like it's not going to be a problem. What I'm asking from you folks, right now is not the end all be all. Yes, you still have a chance to pull out. What I'm asking is, are you fine going forward with this plan? And if you are, then we push forward with the plan. He gets it in by the end of February. And then if we get the preliminary approval, then you guys give the hard yes in June. And then that's the hard yes.
Because that's where we're actually committing to the money at that point.
Correct, right? So the only thing I didn't want to just go forward with this and then you guys in May say, well, we want to do this street instead of that street because we can't really change the plan up that much
Right, once we get it.
at that point. So that's all.
Well, I mean, based on the streets that are on here, though, it does make sense to me, the ones you kind of prioritized. Well, first of all, Wood Lane makes perfect sense to have that back door there to Bookdale. But, you know, the other ones are, you know, like Fort Street's a main trunk line for a lot of that. Plus, that's going to create, you know, that's also the flow that goes over to Bookdale after we get Wood Lane in. So I think that makes sense. I do see you have Poplar on here, though that'll have to be another day. But you know, but that's going to be another main trunk line probably.
My dream for Poplar is a total ground up reconstruction of Poplar. Fix the it would be my dream project for that would be full redo of the storm, full redo of the sewer, full redo of the water, and get it all, the actual road back where it belongs, new curbs and
Back
everything.
down to where it needs to belong, not where it's filled up by 6 inches.
No, it's actually more than that.
Take down,
really?
take down the 2 foot of shit.
Yeah.
So and this is just water lines that you're looking at here. When we have these tore up, are we going to be looking at anything else as far as? And is this just the main line, or are we rerunning from main line to meter?
So what we will do is, it depends. So for example, Cotner and Short Street, Cotner and Short Street are good to go except for the main. So the gas company's already been through there and we don't have any known issues with our sewer. We don't have a history of problems through there. So when we open it up, unless we find something, we don't anticipate any problems. If we run into any crazy problems with services from the water line to the meter, quite frankly, we normally put it in the project to change out the services to the meters. I don't know if he calculated this in, 9 times out of 10 he does. but that'll include that as well. Same going up Fort Street as well, but we do have known sewer problems with the Fort Street connection, so we're hoping to get that wrapped up in another project. What would be nice is we can get the water and sewer project in conjunction going up Fort Street. Rock River is definitely not going to do that job.
Good idea.
But no guarantees on that.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious about the main supply line though, if we were gonna go off the main to the meters, because,
Yes.
we're putting all those new meters in there. If we did that part, that's everything. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but every main water line we put in, haven't we put new services from the main to the meters? Yep. So, yes.
Meter pit and then everything on the other side is customer.
And you've made it clear that, this is the reason why you're going up Fort Street and Wood Lane is to make a secondary loop to Brookdale so that if there's a water outage on the other end of town, they're fine. And it's not because we have two council members that live on Fort Street, okay? Because I can see that being said.
There's only one of those, unfortunately.
No, there's two.
Oh, there is two now. That's right.
There's two. So, we
No,
do.
we're only doing this for Great Clement.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're stopping right there.
But that sounds like a great idea.
Thanks,
Scott.
Dan. Now we're gonna have another sign in the yard.
There it is. So listen, I want you to, sounds really good.
I think that's great.
We've replaced one other water line so far, so
Oh my God.
Mill Street, done,
Mill,
Church Street, St. John,
St. John,
Okay. Grosvenor,
Monroe, down North Alley.
Monroe down, okay. Oh, down North, okay, I know exactly where you're talking about.
Out,
691 in Kimberly. So eventually our infrastructure.
And then, I mean, so that's all just in the last year,
And then we're gonna replace one where we have a leak at.
one or two.
So if 2022 is year one and we're doing all this, do we have like a 5-year projection plan?
so that's what I want from you guys.
Oh, here it is.
How do we do that?
Well, I will gladly give you everything that's broken. I mean, if you want me to come up with a 5-year infrastructure plan, I will gladly do that too.
Well, here's,
I think there should be one.
here's what I,
Yes.
Should be
here's what I would recommend. I'll give you a 5-year plan, but what I would need from you and Jason would be, if this is what we're gonna initially put on our,
this
grant application, then what I need from you two would be, okay, what's our highest priorities at that point? Where do we have the most lost water?
Yes.
Next, that, beyond these issues,
Sounds
and
like,
that would be, in my opinion, the next ones to attack.
Well, and that's pretty much how we've been doing it. I mean, we got Mill Street replaced and that's been the biggest headache since both of us started.
Okay.
And I mean.
And it didn't-
And it's been nice up there since you've got that
well, you
done?
had a leak on Conquer, haven't you, since then? Did you have one or two?
I think after
Yeah.
they turned the water on.
Yeah.
After you turned the water on, it
On
busted.
Fonda,
Yeah.
but not on Mill.
Right,
And
right.
But I mean, you're gonna have that. You take a weak spot and you make it strong, well, your next weakest spots is
Where it's
you're
gonna
have
blow.
a problem.
One thing I would hope is that it'd be nice if we could do it in sections just to keep growing. You know what I mean? New, tie new into new and just keep going and
Yeah,
going. and
tie
going.
new.
Well, and the good news is the gas company's finishing up this year. This should be their last year in town. So if we focus, so actually I would like to work together with you all to make a plan and a 5-year
Sounds
replacement.
good.
So we got, in the next 3 weeks, we're gonna have 2 different companies come in and one's free and one's not free. And they're gonna do,
Just to come in, it's not free?
what's that?
Just to come in, it's not free? Like they're charging to come in?
Well, one's gonna come in and do, they're both doing leak tests. One's part of an organization that we pay an annual subscription of like $800. And then the other one, they're for profit and, they do the same thing. And we're gonna split them up and try and save cost on one. I can't imagine the one that, we're not gonna pay for will be as thorough. But
Right.
maybe they will.
When I talked to them yesterday, nothing in a row. The one that we pay for, they go about it the same way as the other one, but then they go more in depth. They'll go down through and actually down the street. The one goes to valves and hydrants.
Gotcha.
And listens. The other one, they get in depth. They'll get it narrowed down to like,
So if
Within
they hear
10 feet
something,
of where it's
then they
at.
go, okay.
they'll get it narrowed down.
So what that'll do is we will at least get a list of all the breaks we can find, prioritize every single leak that we know about, and then prioritize every line that we want to replace, and then just start working through them. You know,
Shuffle the deck.
yeah, going through them and working emergencies as we get them. And then, you know, just keep eating at the list as we know it. And then, same goes for the sewer. And then we really, really, really need to address the sewer, storm drain. I have zero money to even work on storm. So, my favorite auditor is not here, but,
I know, you both want to be, I get it.
he won't let me touch any money for it.
So I just want to keep adding fees, but I know the thing is though, once we get, you know, storms, sewer replaced or whatever, that fee will never go away. And it'll always be there and not saying.
Well,
that-
we're always gonna have storm sewer.
There's a lot of places right now that need storm, or there is no storm.
That's because we removed a bunch of storm for whatever reason when we
Years
redid.
past,
Yeah, we
yeah.
redid Poplar and we took out storm drains. I have no idea why. I don't know why we would do
It was
that.
not you, yes.
That was not a good
This
idea.
is sins of the past, and that's what the city's paying for right now. A lot of storm drains have been removed, corner of Poplar, or corner of Washington and Adams, I think,
Well,
has
I
been
know one thing
removed.
you talked about.
One corner has been removed, it all runs to the one
Right.
side, if it runs, if not, it sits in there about that deep. But that's stuff that's happened in the past, so, you know, we don't have that problem anymore, not with new projects.
Yes, so, yes, it was. It depends on where you're at. Some places are very simple, $3 per person per month. Some places have an equation that you need
Figures
to-
out how much comes off your roof and.
Yeah, you need
you
a,
gotta-
what are those guys, do math?
Mathematician.
No, they have a real fancy name. I'm brain dumping what it's called right now. But yes, so that's something that, I would like not to forget about. But,
Well, that would solve a lot of your storm drain problems as far as where you're gonna get the money to get it. So I think the first year, you should clip $5 a month. And then drop it down to a manageable $2 to $3.
I'll take whatever you get.
I'm just saying, you know, cause you're gonna need some
Well, the
serious
challenge,
infrastructure
yeah, and the
in the very
challenge
beginning.
is everybody's gonna start paying for it, and then it's like everybody's gonna feel like theirs is the worst section, and then you're gonna start in a different area, and that's gonna create problems too, but you're like, well, why isn't mine getting fixed, you know?
We
problem is-
go through that now, but.
Yeah.
Guys, we never had it. There's never been a plan. There's never been any organization. Nobody's ever been held accountable. You know, we always played the poor me, poor Nelsonville, can't afford to do this, can't afford to do that.
for not to.
Well, here's the news, people. We're pumping up hundreds of thousands of gallons a week, a day, that is leaving our water lines. And if we don't do something soon, it's gonna get worse, worse, and worse. Water leaks don't get better, they get worse.
So
So,
we're treating a lot of stormwater too. With the new plant coming in.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to be treating new stormwater.
I don't
At the end of the
I don't
day,
disagree with you that. In a
within
perfect
within
world,
a couple
yes.
years, you're
And that's gonna be like that
ahead.
for a while, even if they start the storm drain replacement, it's still it's gonna take a while, because we don't know where all the storm water is coming from.
And a lot of them are tied together, have been tied together for years.
We're because we have some old drains, we're probably treating mine water too. You know, because when the mines fill up and they start flowing out the hill, you know, they're probably.
Especially by your house. I've seen it come right out the
Yeah.
hillside.
Right on the hillside.
Hell, I thought you had water leaks there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
One time there was sewer running down your street too, wasn't there? Coming through his house.
But, you know, so yeah, we're gonna have those are growing pains forever, it seems like.
Yeah, so we'll get we'll hope to get a 5-year plan together and, let's do this. So I'm all for. I'm
So
all for
this
the
is,
water lines.
if I can reiterate this point then from last night's meeting as well, this is where we need citizens to be involved. Mr. Greg Clement has brought up to me multiple times that we actually have a comprehensive plan within the city that needs to be relooked at, and it needs to be, we need to start taking action of items that are in that book, and it probably even needs to be updated, which would include things like the stormwater runoff that we have problems with in this town. And everybody in this town has that issue. You know, it's not just one section of
That's
town
what,
that has
let
that.
alone that deteriorates the roads,
Yep.
water sitting in it, you drive
Water-
over top of it, it freezes, And there's intersections that are froze completely up because the water can't go anywhere.
And if you,
Madison Street, stop sign,
I don't think people understand how
Yeah.
detrimental water really
plates
is.
all the time.
But this is where we need citizens to join a committee, join a commission, look at these things,
Yeah.
you know, and help us, you know, keep making progress.
There's a pit.
You know, not be a Facebook quarterback all day.
Oh, no, say it.
Just, I'm just
Oh, my
saying,
gosh.
I'm just saying.
I can't believe you just said that.
No,
Okay, so are we in agreement for him to go forward with this project?
I am.
I love that comprehensive plan, by the way.
Yeah,
We
it's
could
a
probably
great,
use-
it's one of the best documents we've ever put out, but again, we've spent a lot of money on these things over
Never did
years.
anything.
And never did anything. We
Yeah.
spent loads, you know, we had one guy sit on the
How many
utility
I&I?
chair for, you know, 2 decades at least,
It's a
and,
damn good chair.
and then he, and we did all these I&I studies that
Never
we
did
paid
anything
money
about
for, never did anything
Hey,
about it.
how long are you guys gonna beat that dead horse?
How many,
Sorry.
how many?
I learned from the best.
I know
man,
we
my
have
bad.
at least, I've heard of at least 3 I&I studies, at least 3.
there
Oh,
was
yeah,
at
they
least
did,
three.
how many?
I mean, how many millions?
There was
not
more
millions,
than that,
thousands
though,
of dollars that we spent on this and never did anything. Cameron them?
You camera them?
Where are they at? We can go fix it.
No,
Oh, yeah,
seriously.
they're here somewhere.
We probably have them here somewhere.
Ask Michael Betts, he might,
Look at, we probably got some big binders in somewhere in there that probably have all that data in it.
Well, actually, just,
Hmm.
I don't mean to be
Wonder if
too
this
sensitive,
went
as they
somewhere.
say on the Shawshank, but the Rural Water Association, if we buy pizzas, they'll actually just teach a class here for pizza.
They'll bring all the surrounding.
And they'll bring all the equipment and people here and they'll just go smoke them.
That's no problem, let's just do it,
So we'll just do that.
get her done.
But,
You can take my monthly wage for the pizza.
no, TSAP will give up money for that. We can't do
Really?
storm, we can't do storm, but we can do pizza.
CSAP's got his priorities straight.
The comprehensive plan cost $75,000. And that was done in 2004 or 5.
It was signed in 05.
2004. 05?
Is when it was signed and
Yeah, it started in 04.
Nice.
And that was put together prior to, in conjunction with the bypass project.
Right, at the same time.
Because they said you have to have it,
Mhm.
and we spent the money, and then it was never really updated or used after that.
And we've done a few things out of there, but very
There's
few.
been some,
there's some critical off ramps that we missed that have drastically changed the path of the town.
You're talking about from the bypass?
No, meaning from the literal, the plan says, do this now. And we didn't do it. And you can see the result of not doing that, what's happened. I'd rather not say, you know,
I understand.
anybody can read it for themselves and figure it out. Oh, yeah, this happened in the 80s and it expires here and it said, do this. Well, we didn't do that.
why would we?
So it's pretty obvious. If we just did half the stuff that's in there, it's still relevant. We don't even need to pay to update it. We can just do what we can.
we can update it in-house.
Yeah.
I've suggested the planning commission.
Yeah.
Give the project to them. If they need to bring people in to help them with it, do so. But we can do it in-house.
Yeah, it really wouldn't cost it really
No,
anything. Heck, I give them pizza to do it, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
take Tony's wage. For the
There
pizza.
you go.
Sell another dryer or two. Clean your place up, man.
So, okay.
Well, that's if you don't hurt yourself walking across the road.
Oh, yeah.
That's already cleared, thank you.
That drive- that-
What? That's called-
I got the doors out of my property, just so you know. I got those doors out of
Hey,
there.
gravel.
So I do have a mountain of dirt there right now.
Oh, God.
All right. Other than I know trash, we gotta do trash, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else utilities wise. We went through the whole list. Were you here when we talked about adding, Berwick Boulevard to the list? Berwick Boulevard from, Canal Street to High Street's 200K. I want to pull 200K worth of valves
And
hydrants out
stuff like
to make sure that gets done too before we asphalt over it.
Been great.
And then,
Wait, you're gonna replace the water line before we pave over it?
ooh, you weren't in here. You weren't in here when I read Jefferson Street.
Oh, Jefferson Street's horrible.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I'm probably just gonna take it off the list because I can't stomach to look at it.
Let me tell you something.
Well, you know, what sucks is you tear it up and then honestly, it's probably best to pave back over it when it's all said and done, but we're still gonna be eating that payment for
It
years.
still has 31 years and it's $28,000.
For that project that got done?
Yeah.
$28,000.
Well, water was sitting there, so just drill some holes in it.
Yep, that's all you need. All right, let's talk about trash.
Was that
Beating that dead
before
horse,
trash?
Dan.
So I'm gonna try and regurgitate if I can the situation. So the trash has been a lot of problems for a lot of people, in terms of not picking up and, there has been some conflicts with the trash man, but actually it hasn't been the trash man's, well, no, they've not been the trash man's fault. The trash man's been assaulted twice in the last year, and neither time was the trash man's fault. Both times was the resident's fault, and both times the residents lost. But there has been other problems and complaints about trash man leaving trash around, and but more importantly is the billing and the money side of the house. I know the issue is with the specifically, I know Mr. Clement is here. He illuminated a problem that we didn't even know existed. He was coming in and buying the stickers to have bulk items hauled away, which is $5 per sticker.
Yep.
And which is fine. And where he works has a commercial account, and they were charging him the commercial rate, which was more than the $5 a sticker, and they were charging him the commercial rate, and so he was being double charged. Now, we reimbursed him the $5 per sticker, but yeah, I think it's a little bit absurd myself. I'm sure that was in the contract somewhere, but I was a little bit taken back by that as well. And amongst the complaints, I can also tell you that Mr. Sappington's also not very happy with them as far as how they bill us. He has formalized a complaint with them about them not telling us how much we owe them. Rather, they were counting on us to tell them how much we owed them. And he is not okay with that. And he made it very, very, very clear to them that he's not okay with that. And that's not how it's supposed to be. So I instructed him to stop paying them until they told us how much we owed them.
Okay. Alrighty then.
So I don't feel that we should have to tell them how much we owe them. Because I think that, well, I don't want to say I think it was he's a smart guy, thought of this, but it puts us in a vulnerable spot. If we don't pay them correctly, then they come back and say, well, you didn't pay us correctly. Well, you didn't tell us how much you owed us. Right? So,
So they don't send, just so I'm clear, so like, when they send me a bill, I get an email, I actually get a paper statement too. That's part of the billing issue I have with them, but okay, let's just use this example. They send me an email and say, okay, here's how much you owe. So I pay that amount. Do they do the same thing for you, for the city then, and say, they don't send you an invoice each month or what, nothing, okay. So, okay, because the issue I have with them is that I get a electronic bill, which is accurate, it's right. The one that I get still in the mail is inaccurate. They're still billing me on that. It's an Excel spreadsheet or something because it has formulas in it. And every time, so I get the bill and then the top part is always the same amount and they're billing me for properties that I shouldn't be paying them. I should be paying the city for, which I'm billed for on my water bill. And the only ones I'm paying them directly is the commercial ones. I should be. And so I'm getting billed for my residentials on there. And then what happens is on the bottom, it keeps adding up. So on the bottom, I owe them like $1,000 because it keeps adding up. But up here, it'll say, oh, well, your bill is, X amount of much, what my monthly bill. So I have problems with that because that's always wrong. But my electronic bill at least is accurate.
So let's just get to the bottom of the chase. You're just not paying the bill, right?
I'm paying my bill, but I'm paying the accurate bill. But that's the fight I've had with them because I have to go back continually and prove, like, listen, I don't owe this money. I've been paying it. It's like, so there's an issue there. And far as the billing department, I would definitely agree.
You want me to bring him in for a council meeting?
Well, we brought Rumpke in.
When we had issues, we brought them in, we probably should. And I would probably, it should be the director who's over the whole thing. I don't think we need to involve any board members or anything. I think it should be the director, because they're the ones that have to deal with it, so.
Do you want to voice your opinions or your concerns before,
Well, I think the contract needs to be reviewed and clarified on how commercial accounts are charged.
Actually, to be honest, maybe have a one-on-one with the director, yourself, and maybe someone else, like from the utility committee to be there, whatever. Because now that I think about that, I don't want a bunch of angry citizens coming to a
Right.
meeting and berating them.
maybe
about
that's how we
their
get them here.
issues. Have you had issues scheduling time with them?
No, I was just
Okay.
saying that's how we get people here. is come in.
Oh, get people here, yeah.
I mean, it's just us all the time. And it's probably Missy who's watching.
Are you
Only
getting
one watching.
lonely? Are you getting lonely?
Oh, I think what we might be needed to do is just completely shut off that. I mean that nicely, guys. If they're open public meetings and you want someone to show up, shut that off.
Well, we didn't, to be honest, when we had the cable company here, it was always delayed anyway, right? So it was
Yeah,
never
I mean,
live.
people need to be involved in the community.
They do need to be involved.
And a lot of them don't wanna say anything to your face, which is fine, I get it, but come on in, help out. That's the way I look at it. I mean, someone told me once, you're either part of the problem or part of the solution,
Yeah, buddy.
or nowadays they've added, or part of the landscape. So, you know, I used to tease Mr. Taylor about city council all the time. Well, all of a sudden, that's not a joke anymore.
It's different when you're
So
sitting.
it's different when you're sitting here.
I mean, we can still record with this. We just don't have to
Yeah.
live stream it.
I'm fine with it. So-
Although it only hurt one person's feelings.
It really would. I like,
Well-
sorry, Missy. Sorry.
That's a little one.
But I do actually like that. I like the fact that you could go back and look it up and be able to rewatch it. And I do like the fact that it was at least played for committee meetings too, which we didn't have before.
It
you
really
know.
kills that nepotism comment.
Oh, I know.
Nepotism,
Oh, God.
corruption.
Well, and the committee meetings are the nuts and bolts of what we do.
They really
Exactly.
are. They
Yeah.
really are.
I would just love to see more citizen involvement,
I would too.
plain and simple. But
So
I
you
don't-
shut down that, you know, you're inviting back.
I don't care. Okay, come on in. That's the way I look
You
at
need
it.
participation one way or another, right? So I
Yep.
mean, and we're all busy. I mean, I can tell you.
And you know, the thing about it is no one realizes, you know, sometimes if you don't live in that certain area of the city, you don't see all the problems, right? We're getting off subject. So, all right, anything else that you have, Mr. Frank? Is there anything else?
Do you have anything else, Greg? Jason?
Anything? Can we get, some money for Jason to have pants bill?
That's
We
the
bought him a
only-
new jacket apparently.
that's the only way we can make it look like he works.
You can
so he
get me
doesn't fall
something
down.
with the B on it. I mean, your last name.
Hey, so one thing I do, just so you guys here know, I think I've told some of you already, but we do have a plan for the weather. Short-term heating station, if we lose, if parts of the city lose power, we're just gonna open it up in here, 2 or 3 hours, you can come in, warm up, charge up your phone and so forth. Then you go back out. If it looks like we're gonna lose power for a couple days, we do have a location for folks to go, temporary shelter that will have food and somewhere to lay your head. And if it looks like it's gonna be long-term, a couple weeks, we have another location that the Red Cross will be able to go in and set up their
Nice.
shelter as well. And so,
I know the temperature's just dropping now pretty good.
Yeah, it's starting to drop.
In Logan, Hocking County has lost a lot of power.
They got a lot of flooding up there.
They've lost a
It's
the
lot.
coming
water's
our
coming
way.
up quick too. The river's way up, so.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
it is.
Okay.
But I just wanted to let you guys know, that we do have a very short-term, and then a long-term plan in place. All facilities are, coordinated with everybody it needs to be coordinated with, and there is a plan in place. And, if anybody gets a hold of you,
Okay,
All right.
no problem.
Appreciate it.
All right. You know, adjourn.
Okay, we'll adjourn this meeting at, time is it?
4:41.
4:41.
4:41.